Hello there guys, welcome back to Younes Talks Football, welcome back to a brand new video. I hope all of you are doing well today. We've got smiles back on our faces, Chelsea getting the business done. This is what we like to see. Order has been restored to some sort of capacity at least, and we're going to get into it. Chelsea 2, Tottenham 0. Before we do though, I want to let you know a couple of things. Firstly, this video is brought to you and sponsored by the OneFootball app. Make sure you download the OneFootball app for all of your footballing needs, just like I do. It's my go-to for all of my news, all of my statistics, player and team statistics, league standings, anything you need, it's there. Also, make sure you download the link in the description. Hit that now and enjoy. And secondly, I'll be giving you guys my AFCON day review, which will be uploaded later tonight. So make sure you are here for that. Nigeria versus Tunisia to review. We'll see who makes it through to the quarterfinals of the Africa Cup of Nations, as well as Burkina Faso versus Gabon. So make sure you guys are here for that one later tonight. But let's get into this. Chelsea versus Tottenham at the Bridge. I told you guys in my previews today, I didn't know what Chelsea were going to show up. And I was hoping that Chelsea of old were going to show up. A Chelsea that's dominant, that's in control, that's a threat, that gets goals. And I was hoping that the Chelsea we've seen recently wasn't going to show up. The ones where we concede after going 1-0 up. The ones where we concede in terms of having a lead. The one where we bottle chances, where we can't create, where, you know, we've struggled in terms of our attacking. But today's a good day. It's finished Chelsea 2, Tottenham 0. And for me, I have to say, it was a tale of two halves. I think in the first half, there were a couple of individuals in that team, for us, who weren't looking good, but then showed up in the second half. And boy, did they show up in the second half. So I'm very happy with that. And there's also the one player that I know all of you are going to be wanting an opinion from me. And we'll get to him. We'll get to him later. Let's start off. We started with Chelsea in a back four. Kepa in goal, Malang Sarr left back, which is exactly what I said in the preview, and it worked like a charm. Thank you, Thomas Tuchel. He probably watches these videos and then decides not to change the attacking instead, just the defence. He goes with my defence, no problem. But Malang Sarr left back, Aspi right back, Thiago Silva and Rudiger at centre back, worked like a charm, beautiful. We went Jorginho and Kovacic, which I could understand to an extent, especially with the fact that Kante had been a little shaky prior to this as well. He wasn't, the only one, but of course he was someone that we didn't expect to be a bit rocky, and he was. So Kante stepped aside, Jorginho came back into the setup. Jorginho and Kovacic have linked up in the past quite well, so I can see why that logic has come in. But we went with those two, Mason Mount, Ziyech on the right, Hudson-Odoi on the left-hand side, and Romelu Lukaku up front as the lone striker. And in that first half, it was a case of Chelsea starting off very brightly for the first 10-15 minutes, in control, moving the ball about, spreading the play very well. Ziyech, I want to say, from minute one, was flawless. Flawless. Was absolutely fantastic. And we're going to come to the individual performances later on. Hudson-Odoi looked like he was struggling a bit in that first half. And that's one of the players that I'm going to come to in terms of the second half, because I feel like there was a big change. But everyone else looked decent. Malang Sarr at left back looked good. Defensively, we weren't really tested. Tottenham did not do much for the first 15-20 minutes at all. It was only later on. I do want to point out a couple of occasions in that first half, by the way. Tottenham should have been down to 10 men. Doherty going in on, was it Azpilicueta? But Doherty going in on the challenge with studs. And it went to VAR. And they didn't even give a free kick. Let alone a yellow card. It should have been a red. That's shocking. How it goes to VAR and then nothing is given. When that challenge had zero ball, the ball had already left. He had time to back out of the challenge. He didn't. He went stud straight to the ankle. How that's not a red, I don't know. So whoever was on VAR today should never be on VAR again, as far as I'm concerned. It's shocking officiating. Absolutely shocking. Tottenham should have been down to 10. Later on, we did have Tottenham score and go 1-0 up, but there was a foul from Harry Kane on Thiago Silva, pushed to the back, and therefore that goal did not stand. So that was a correct decision. Even later on, we could have had a penalty. And that wasn't given, where Azpilicueta was literally getting manhandled by two players, literally holding him like this, like they both wanted to, propose or get some sort of marriage going with Azpi. Absolutely shocking. Nothing given. The referees really need to improve, man. We can't say it enough. The refereeing in this country is bad. It's bad. You know, the one referee that I look at and I know we'll never get an issue with is Kevin Friend. I like Kevin Friend. I think he does a good job. You know, and even when he goes to the VAR screen and he looks, he takes his time, he analyzes, and he does a fair job. But some of the referees we have on the VAR and some of the referees we have on the pitch, really bad. Really, really bad. So that was the tale of the first half. We came into the second half, still at 0-0. And then some performances from the get-go switched. Hudson-Odoi, all of a sudden, looking dynamic, looking forward, went a lot less backwards. Because you see with Callum, most times, he'll get the ball, he'll look to see if he's going to take on the man, he hesitates, he doesn't, he goes back. You see that time and time again. And in the second half, when he was receiving the ball, he was already on the move. It's like he'd already processed what he was going to do prior to getting the ball, and he managed to drive with the ball immediately and cause havoc. And Tanganga was struggling to keep up. So he had the opportunity to do that a lot more. Thankfully, in the second half, he did. And that led to the goal because it was his assist where he tucked inside, came into the middle, passed the ball to Ziyech, and then Ziyech. Hakim scores the one goal that a load of you know I've been waiting to see. I've been waiting to see since I executed it on my FIFA series on Twitch last season, on FIFA 21, when I was scoring with Ziyech from outside the box into the top corner. And I was like, you see, he was doing that at Ajax in real life. I've done it on FIFA. I can't wait till he does it for Chelsea in the real shirt. I can't wait till he does it in real life. I want to see it happen. And lo and behold, ladies and gentlemen, the day has finally arrived. Hakim Ziyech has finally scored the goal I've been waiting to see in exactly the way that I wanted to see it. Beautiful goal. Goal of the month, easily. Definitely contender for goal of the season. Takes the ball from the pass that Callum Hudson-Odoi gave to him. He manages to tap it on his inside, and looks up, hits it, bends it. It feels like it takes about a year to travel into the top corner, as it should, because that's the beauty of that sort of goal. It takes long, but you still can't stop it. And it bends right into the top corner. Like, it doesn't hit the woodwork, but it's right there, where no one can stop it. No goalkeeper in history or currently playing would be able to save that. No one. Unbelievable goal. So Hakim Ziyech, today, Hakim Ziyech, that was the Hakim Ziyech we bought from Ajax. That was it. Now, I don't expect Hakim Ziyech to play like this every single game. That's not realistic. I'm never asking for that. I just want some consistency. You know? Players are going to dip. Players are going to have some bad games. That's normal. But not as much as we've been seeing. Hakim Ziyech got the goal against Brighton. Today, put in an absolute clinic. He was a 10 out of 10 today, Hakim Ziyech. That was beautiful. I want to see that sort of level. Now, it doesn't have to be as good as today, because today he was unbelievable. But just good, half decent. You know, keep that level, keep that consistency, have that confidence. Ziyech, I've realised, when he has confidence, when he's got that pressure lifted off him like he did after the goal, look how elegant he looked. It's like he knew exactly what he was going to do. He managed to take his time on the ball. His decisions were all correct. He was moving and combining brilliantly. He was getting into good spaces because he was calm. He was composed, and he was relaxed because he'd scored an absolute blinder, knowing that no one was going to replicate it. And as a footballer, when you're on the pitch and you score, your confidence shoots right up. Any pressure or nerves you had goes in the bin, because you know you've done the one thing that no one's been able to do. So you're all of a sudden, you're on a bit of a pedestal, and you're there and you're like, yeah, you know what, the rest of the game, I've got this. So you feel confident. Hakim Ziyech done that today in brilliant way. So I've got nothing more to say about Hakim Ziyech except he was absolutely fantastic. Man of the match by a mile, 10 out of 10 performance. If he can just keep it around the 9, 8 out of 10s, you know, consistently, then we've got no problem at all. That is the Hakim Ziyech I want to see every single game. So, yeah. Well done, Hakim. Habibi. Very top game. But aside from that, yeah, Hudson-Odoi put in a very good second half. So fair play to Hudson-Odoi, who came off later on. I felt like Mount had a better second half. In the first half, his touch was horrific. Really bad first touches when he was combining with Hakim Ziyech, sorry. But going into the second half, he looked a lot better. And he was looking more dynamic. He was looking much more energetic. And we saw the press in the couple of times that he managed to win the ball from Tottenham in their own half, causing all sorts of threats. So, no, Mason Mount, second half, much better. Now, if we can get that on a consistent basis, that would be much appreciated. Back to the Mason Mount that we knew from last season, that would be great. So if he can do that, fantastic. The one man, right? And by the way, Malang Sarr at left back put in a very, very good performance, so fair play to him. Later on, we did get the second goal as well. I think we have to mention that. Hudson-Odoi winning that free kick, ball into the box, great header by Thiago Silva, and it's 2-0 and it's wrapped up, and the game's pretty much to bed at that point because Spurs, let's face it, Spurs were bad today. They were bad, except for the last maybe 5-10 minutes where they tried to do something. They still couldn't, but they didn't put in a good performance today. Offensively, they looked like they were a bit scared. They couldn't really combine much in terms of passes and control and possession. They couldn't really do much. So yeah, Tottenham, poor showing. But overall for us, much better second half. Even though the first half was quite decent, but second half we looked on it. We looked on it, back to our normal selves. So that was good to see. But as I've pinpointed, pretty much all of the attacking players, as well as Kovacic, for example, good player today. Jorginho, bit of a poor first half, better second half. Came off later. Kante came on. The defense, everyone knows. Kepa, beautiful in terms of his saves. So that save in the second half where he looked like he almost broke his wrist. Beautiful save. That was immaculate. And it goes to show that with Edouard Mendy away, we'll be fine with Kepa, as we've been saying. And, there won't be long until Edouard Mendy has to come back. Remember, we've got 2 weeks until the AFCON is officially finished. And that's if Senegal reach the final. So we'll wait and see. And then he will come back. So we haven't got too long left. By the time we start playing football again, he might be back if Senegal do not make the final, because the next game is Plymouth on the 5th of Jan in the FA Cup. So Mendy might be back for that, might not. If not, he will definitely be back after that. So yeah, Kepa in his absence has been immaculate. So well done, Kepa. Much, much appreciated. The one man that I haven't mentioned is Romelu Lukaku. And I don't want to end the video on a sour note, so I'm not going to say too much. But I'm going to say this very short and very concise and very clear as crystal. This man does not belong in this team. It's as simple as that. He doesn't. Everything he done today was wrong. Everything. In terms of his movement, in terms of the service that he finally did receive, if we're going to be using service as an excuse, look at the service he received in the first half. Countless times. Instead, he hits air. He misses the ball completely. He loses possession. He takes he dribbles at like 0.2 mile an hour. I've seen cars that haven't moved in years operate at a faster rate than that. Everything about Lukaku today was terrible. Terrible. Absolutely. And I'm not just saying that because of what's happened and all that. If he were to come in and put in a clinic, just like Ziyech, I've criticised Ziyech. Today, Ziyech was absolutely 10 out of 10. If Lukaku was to come in and score 2 goals, I'd give him all the plaudits in the world. As a professional and as a player who's meant to be doing the job that we expect him to do, I would give him the plaudits and I'd give him the credit. He's not doing anything. He's a passenger. Yeah, I was talking about other players prior in the last few games in terms of being passengers. Lukaku is now the passenger. He's the passenger with a season ticket. You know those people that travel and they get season tickets because they know they're just going to be traveling constantly for the year. And they get like a £400-500 season ticket because they're not just going to keep buying tickets every single time they got to travel because they know it's going to be a long time. That's basically Lukaku. He's got himself a season ticket. He's a passenger for a long time. It's shocking. Everything this guy does is wrong. His first touch is dreadful. His dribbling doesn't exist. He can't shoot. He's had one shot where he worked Lloris today, and that came in the 70-something minute, I think it was, where he finally had a shot at the goalkeeper. Everything else he done was wrong. And even in terms of physically, the battles that he'd lost to Eric Dyer and Sanchez today, poor. This should not be happening. Should not be happening. For someone of his stature, and he's still not winning aerial duels. He's still not being able to barge off the ball. Couple of times he managed to hold up the ball. Couple of those times he managed to lose the ball. And sometimes he'd link up and allow his teammates to run off with it. But apart from that, nothing. Absolutely nothing. I don't understand, again, why Havertz didn't play today. And I think now he's had more than enough time to justify himself after the so-called apology
Next time we play, I want to see Havertz up there. Or even Timo Werner. Screw it. We go back to type and what worked for us last season. That's it. Because everyone around Lukaku today was clicking. They went from the first half to the second half. Hudson-Odoi, bit of a half and half first half. Second half, much better. He was receiving the ball loads of times. Mason Mount, loads of times. Ziyech was on the ball every single flipping minute. Great. Kovacic was attacking, getting forward. Everyone around you is working and using the ball and on the ball for a consistent amount of time, except you. You are the common denominator here. You are the one issue. Passenger. First half was getting loads of service. Done nothing with it. Second half, we didn't really pass to Lukaku. We ended up scoring twice. You know, this is the thing. He doesn't fit the way we play. That's as far as I'm concerned. And he doesn't fit himself just as a striker. Look at Harry Kane. I feel sorry for Harry Kane because if we had Harry Kane, I think he'd be banging in goals. You look at the way that Harry Kane was moving today, just as an individual, not in terms of Spurs, because Spurs were poor. But every time he got the ball, or every time he tried to create space, there was a couple of occasions where he had 2 or 3 defenders around him, was still managing to use that technical ability to get in between, won free kicks, was linking up, was sending through balls into Bergwijn that Lukaku couldn't even dream of. I mean, that's talking about a centre forward that's going to come in and help the rest of his teammates and help the team, and not expect everything to fall on a plate to you. That's his problem. We can't have that. You're out, mate. Bring in Havertz, who I think would have better link-up and better chemistry and would be able to probably finish half the chances that Lukaku got today. That's my analysis of it. But we'll see what happens. We've got a 2-week break now. No football for 2 weeks, so that's going to be a bit dry. But I will make sure that the content is coming. Tomorrow, you'll be getting your Reddit video that I didn't give you on Monday because I gave you a match preview where I will give you the Reddit for the last 2 weeks. So make sure you tune in for that one. That's going to be a bit of a laugh. I don't know what you guys have been up to on there, so we'll see. But yeah, Reddit video tomorrow, as well as the AFCON last 16 day review that I'm going to give you today and tomorrow as well as we go through the last 16 for the next few days. So yeah, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this. We get the win. Happy days. We still sit third in the Premier League table, but we've got to try and build some momentum now. Start winning, and hopefully we can pick ourselves up. But thank you so much for watching. Hit that subscribe button if you are new. Hit that notification bell to be notified once I've uploaded. Smash the like button if you've enjoyed this. Don't forget to leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section below, and I will see all of you tomorrow. Actually, I'll see you later, as I've given you the last 16 of the AFCON review, where I talk about Nigeria versus Tunisia and Burkina Faso versus Gabon. So check in for that later on tonight, and I will see you tomorrow as well for the Reddit video. Have a good one, people. See you later. Take care, and peace.